Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
So, I had been contemplating making a video talking about the Amazing Digital Circus, with a specific focus on how I think Kane is actually a really great example of an autistic-coded character. In case you didn't know, I'm autistic myself, and I think autism representation is really important. But canon autism representation in media can be quite lacking. Sometimes you get something really great, like As We See It, which showcases 3 very different autistic individuals with unique challenges. Other times you'll get a character like June Chen from The Ghost and Molly McGee, who is a minor character that sadly doesn't get a lot of screen time, but was still handled with an immense amount of love and care. But oftentimes you get slop made for neurotypical audiences to gawk at like we're zoo animals. I think you can often find better autism representation in animated characters who aren't canonically autistic, because autism is inherently a wide spectrum of different challenges and attributes, and a lot of the people who work in animation are neurodivergent and tend to put a lot of themselves in their characters. And on the subject of Kane from Digital Circus, Alex Rochon said this.
As far as Kane goes, I didn't really know terribly much about him at first, other than he was kind of wacky and stuff like that. But then episode 3 rolled around, and that was when I really started to understand, oh my god, this is where they're taking the character. Someone who is a little clueless, a little empathy challenged, but genuinely well-meaning, and kind of also very insecure. And like, I was starting to think, oh my god, this character's a lot deeper than I ever imagined, and I relate to him. So my perception, and I love that so many people, someone came up to me today even and said how much they relate to Kane, and especially, speaking from someone who is very neurodiverse, I experience a lot of the same struggles that he does. So yeah, just experiencing Kane's evolution as I see more of the scripts has been wonderful, and engaging with fans who also love and appreciate him for the complicated character he is has also been wonderful.
Glitch Productions recently debuted another new pilot, that being a show called Gameoverse.
Gobble up knowledge with Gobbles and friends. Cat!
Meow!
Very good.
And Twitter user Bebo posted, okay, but something about this clip feels genuinely sweet. A shy Learnosaurus, 23 years old, autistic, yet so willing to help and learn despite his anxiety. This character really touched my heart on a personal level. I love my autistic learning dinosaur, heart emoji. And the internet proceeded to dunk on both Bebo and the show itself for being infantilizing towards autistic people. Infantilizing autism again. Cool, love it. If you're going to put autistic representation in a show, do it fucking right or don't have it at all. Please tell me this shit is satire. Fuck this series, oh my god. This tweet has done irreversible damage to my brain. I'm actively losing my mind. We're putting him on the cross. Whoever said Glitch Animation Studios makes cartoons for 26-year-old children is right on the money. Some of you motherfuckers don't know shit about autism. This tweet is offensive. If people really see me this way, I want to tear off my skin and jump into a hot bath. I'd rather be called a that represented like this. And now people are even turning it into a copy pasta. Great. Obviously, we have to talk about the show first before we can really dive into this discourse. But before we do that, I want to make it clear that Bebo here is on the autism spectrum and is not on the crew of the show. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Gameoverse itself. The original Gameoverse was created by Ross O'Donovan in 2009 as a short web series with cheap animation. The original Gameoverse show came out 17 years ago. For context, I was still living in Las Vegas 17 years ago. O'Donovan tried pitching the show to various networks. Glitch Productions was interested as far back as when they started really pitching it in 2017, but at the time they were just doing CG animation and not 2D, which is what O'Donovan wanted. Following the success of shows like Murder Drones and, of course, The Amazing Digital Circus, Glitch started production on their first ever 2D animated series with The Knights of Guinevere, created by Owl House creator Dana Terrace. And you better believe I'm doing a video about that show once episode 2 comes out. And speaking of theme parks, did you know that I recently launched a sister channel called Sunnyland Adventures? It's all about theme parks, and I just made a video all about the downfall of 3D rides.
Oops, sorry.
So if you like the videos I make about animation, I think you'll really enjoy my theme park channel. The premise of the Glitch Show is sort of like a cross between Wreck-It Ralph and Wander Over Yonder. It takes place in a multiverse of different video games, but instead of the game just resetting when the hero wins or loses, the hero winning leads to the destruction of the entire world. Kit Bodega and her mechanical backpack sidekick Caboodle are members of the Farcade, former video game protagonists who try to go around and prevent heroes from beating their respective games. The opposing faction, the Syntax, wants to accelerate the demise of these games in order to harvest the power released when the worlds explode, I guess. What happens if someone decides to play the game again, or if the game gets a reboot or remaster? Are there potentially clones wandering around? It's crazy to think about how fleeting existence potentially is in a universe like this. There's some video games out there that just take a couple of hours to beat. On the flip side, there's plenty of games that have sandbox modes that you could theoretically play forever. Although, it seems like the worlds are all based around some kind of campaign, story-driven gameplay. Kit and Caboodle are from one of these worlds that exploded and—
Whoa! What's going on? We beat him, didn't we?
What the fuck is that, Schlatt?
So we're back from the grocery store.
I killed the homeless man at the grocery store. He was begging for it.
Well, I guess it explains why you want to save every useless game character you run into.
What the hell is he doing here? Well, I guess having someone who can predict the exact date each of these worlds will explode would be very useful.
I am Ted Nivison and I will die on October 23rd, 2025.
Oh, put that in the video.
I killed a man today.
Kit and Caboodle are inspired by games like Ratchet & Clank, Mega Man, and Sonic the Hedgehog. The first character we meet from another game is Gobbles, the shy, anxious, possibly autistic Learnosaurus. He's from a learning game, something along the lines of Jumpstart Preschool or one of those leapfrog games I played when I was a kid. When we first meet him, he's with Kit and Caboodle on a recon mission, and Caboodle is convinced that he'll be more of a hindrance than a help.
He is a Learnosaurus, and he is very good at reading and writing.
Great! Maybe he can write our obituaries after he gets us both killed.
And we see him playing his own game, not sure how that works, and drinking juice boxes. The world they're sent to check out is the world of Flappers the Super Dolphin, which according to Google is a parody of Sega's Echo the Dolphin. But the vibe I was getting was along the lines of the Freddy Fish series.
That's not going to do me any good.
It literally will.
The Syntax faction attacks them and they crash land on the planet. The main characters we see from the Syntax faction are Misinformation, who seems to only be there to make her teammates miserable, but gives out tips to the hero player.
If you're having trouble, shoot where they're going instead of where they are. If you're having trouble,
And Fold, who's a shapeshifter that often poses as an NPC to help the heroes beat their game and destroy the world. They act under the direction of Warwick, a real scary evil emperor type who wants to absorb the residual code left behind by the destroyed planets to rewrite the rules of the Gameoverse and resurrect everything that was lost.
The rules of the Gameoverse are cruel and unfair. With the float we absorb from planets like yours, we can change those rules. Bring back all that we've lost.
Wait, why exactly is he the villain? Because it seems like what the Farcade is fighting for is a lost cause.
What's the point of doing any of this if we can't save everyone we can?
How many worlds have Kit and Caboodle actually been able to save? Because it seems like the only way you'd be able to permanently save one of these worlds is to convince the hero to just stop doing anything permanently. I guess the main question there is just if the Syntax's goal is actually feasible. Kit, Caboodle, and Gobbles are ultimately unable to stop Flappers from beating his own game, and the four of them flee the planet. We get a nice wrap-up scene with our heroes consoling Flappers, and the villains plotting to make things right. Again, am I supposed to not be rooting for them just because they're portrayed as the villains? Or is that the whole point?
The only thing you've lost is your bloody mind!
But back to the topic at hand. Do I think Gobbles is a good portrayal of autism? No. But that's because I don't think he's meant to be a portrayal of autism at all. Gobbles is from a preschool learning game, so his whole purpose is to be able to learn. When we first see him, he's shy and anxious, wears headphones, and is playing his own game. Still not sure how that works, but okay. And drinking juice boxes. So on a surface level, I can see why people would be upset about this being meant as a portrayal of autism. Specifically, a character who is an adult but acts childish. But in universe, Gobbles is meant to be from a preschool game where his whole job is to learn things along with the player. And I'm pretty sure the juice boxes are meant to be power-ups.
Sorry, Gobbles.
I also think it's important to remember that Gobbles just watched his whole planet explode not that long ago, and he's definitely dealing with some trauma, just like everyone Kit and Caboodle saved from exploding planets. Later on, when Kit is spiraling, Gobbles gives her a pep talk.
I know you're dealing with a lot, but I'm here. We're here. Together. There's still so much we can do. You're too hard on yourself, Kit. None of this is your fault. All you ever wanted to do was save people. Well, there's still time. We can still do something.
How did you get like this?
Get like what?
I don't know. Courageous? Uplifting?
I'm a Learnosaurus, Kit. That's what I do. I learn. From the world around me, from flappers, and from you.
Gobbles being programmed to learn from everything and everyone around him will actually make him a really formidable ally to Kit and Caboodle on their missions. This is a moment that a lot of people have said is cringe and therapy speak, and I honestly can't wrap my head around why people think that. I guess maybe out of context it can come across as that, but it makes perfect sense in universe. Kit is just trying her best in this absolutely cruel, messed up universe. And I think that's all any of us can do. And while I personally don't headcanon him as autistic, I can absolutely see why Gobbles might resonate with someone on the spectrum. He's shown to be shy and anxious and have childish interests. And Caboodle pretty much says he's going to be useless and a hindrance to the team. But given the chance, he's so much more insightful and capable than they originally realized. And all it takes is Kit showing him some kindness and empathy. I'm actually reminded of the original SpongeBob movie and the excellent review Ilnage did with Charlie Callahan back in 2015.
All throughout, SpongeBob and Patrick are criticized for being children, simply because of what they like and how they act. And at every single one of those moments, I sympathize with them. I too like arbitrary and juvenile things, not the least of which are two cartoon characters that sing the praises of imagination. But this makes the Odyssey angle all the more important. The show already establishes that it's okay to let your freak flag fly, but the movie imparts possibly the strongest message of all. You are not defined by your labels, and you are no less capable because of them.
I think headcanons are great, and they're often necessary when you're talking about autism because autism is a spectrum, and the experience of being autistic really is something different for everyone. I did a big video a few years back discussing ADHD and autism representation in animated shows, and most of the characters I discussed were not canonically autistic, but characters that I felt had autistic and or ADHD tendencies. And of course, in the 2 years since then, the discourse surrounding autism has taken a nosedive. Because of Trump, who honestly is just a side effect of the fact that a lot of cisgender, neurotypical people seem to hate acknowledging that other people exist and have different interests, worldviews, and have brains that work differently. So I think the absolute last thing we should be doing is invalidating the experience of someone else on the spectrum just because they had a headcanon. Especially when most of the people here are just basing their opinion on an 8-second clip and one person's tweet about the character. You can want there to be better and more diverse autism representation and still recognize that there are people on the spectrum who do use tablets and headphones like this. Some autistic people are into true crime and horror movies. Others are into Thomas the Tank Engine. I like theme parks, roller coasters, animation, and balloons. All of these are valid interests. I think it's so much more important to be critical of canon autism representation that misses the mark. There is enough negativity facing the autistic community without us ganging up on someone else for just having a headcanon. But I want to know, what did you guys think of the Gameoverse pilot? And what are some of your favorite autism headcanons? Let's discuss this in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Chandler DeRoche.